Hello again. The first government scandal I can remember was the Profumo affair in the early 1960s. The Secretary of State for War was forced to resign because he'd been fooling around with a prostitute who also happened to be banging a Soviet agent. Since then, there have been other scandals involving government ministers, people like Home Secretary Reginald Maudling in the 1970s. But the present affair dwarfs these past government embarrassments. It has drawn in all three Labour prime ministers since the 1970s: Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, and Keir Starmer. It seems that not one of these men noticed that a sleazy, venal, greedy, and treacherous man was operating at the heart of three successive administrations. Or if they did notice, then they were complicit in the corruption. Everybody else knew what Peter Mandelson was like. Journalists have joked about it for years. He was known to be constantly taking favours and money from rich and dubious foreigners, and yet a short while ago the present Prime Minister offered him the most important diplomatic post we have, that of Ambassador to Washington. How could he do such a thing? It is being suggested in some quarters that Keir Starmer has been blackmailed, or at least that there are those who are keeping quiet about certain personal information regarding him, as long as they are allowed to do as they please. Some say that this is connected with the Ukrainian rent boys who are due to go on trial in a few months, accused of arson against the Prime Minister's property and car. It has further been hinted that this might tie in with Peter Mandelson's well-known homosexuality. I have no idea if there's anything in this. What is certain is that Mandelson was working actively against British interests while at the heart of Brown's government, and that many people knew this. Nevertheless, the present Prime Minister was prepared to trust him with a highly sensitive role, a decision which caused gasps of astonishment in some quarters. As I say, it has certainly happened since the end of the war that government ministers become embroiled in scandals of one kind and another. But generally, prime ministers have managed to avoid this. Now, three of them are caught up in the present trouble, and it very much looks as though there is far more to come out yet. The hope of many people is that Keir Starmer will not survive this and can be forced to resign. Of course, Labour could then try and install a new Prime Minister without holding an election, but I rather think that particular gag has been worked to death over the last 10 years or so. Under the Tories, we saw four unelected premiers between 2016 and 2024, and it would certainly cause a furore if Labour tried that same stunt, I think.